You are watching the adventures of Daphne and her gal pals. Starring Taylor and Riri. The Gal Pals. This week's episode, Surprise Road Trip, Part 1. When Taylor and Riri got to work at Daphnes Studio, they were introduced to the new employee, Kiki. The gal pals showed Kiki around the warehouse, starting with the pillow room. They explained the process of how they made the pillows there at Daphnes Studio. Taylor explained the different sizes. Kiki asked a lot of questions. She seemed to be very interested in the pillows. Taylor continued to point out some of the various facts about how they made the pillows there. Then it was Riri's time to chime in. She began by telling Kiki all the various parts of the assembly process. And then Riri said to Kiki, "Tell me something about yourself, Kiki." Kiki asked Riri, "What do you mean about myself? Like, where are you from? Where'd you used to work at before?" Taylor said to Riri, "Do you think that's appropriate?" And Riri said, "If I don't ask, she may not tell." So the girls agreed that this was not the appropriate time to answer those kind of questions. And they set a date for drinks after work. So it was, they would meet for drinks and maybe dinner after work one day, and then get to know Kiki better. But for now, it was work-related conversation. So Riri started telling Kiki a little bit more about the factory. And then she shared with Kiki one of her favorite products that she enjoyed making. She talked about the satin pillowcases that she just adored. Kiki pointed out that she loved pink, especially pink petals. So they put the pillowcases back onto the shelf, and then they went over to where the mattresses were. Taylor and Riri took turns sharing with Kiki information about the mattresses that they made there at Daphnes Studio. The gal pals talked about the sizes. And they encouraged Kiki to feel how soft the mattresses were. The conversation went back to when they were going to meet up after work. They chatted a little bit about the products and a little bit more about their date. Definitely dinner and drinks. There was a new restaurant over by the Riverwalk. I heard they had good food, Taylor said. So dinner, drinks. Now we'll just have to meet back and talk about the date. The gal pals escorted Kiki back to the main offices with the promises of meeting after work. When the gal pals got home, Taylor's job was to finish up untaping the windows in the living room. She decided that she could do this project alone, being that Riri was still working on her exhibit for the Hoyt. Taylor got busy tearing that plastic away from the window. Boy, is this plastic on here. She put the plastic into the garbage container after she tore it away from the window. Piece by piece, pane by pane. The process was slow and tedious, but she wanted to make sure that she did a great job. Taylor was loving the color of the room, the slate gray. And then she remembered, no, it's not slate gray, it's hi-ho silver. And that color was going to look great with the draperies that they had gotten for the windows. Soon the house was going to be finished and the girls would be able to enjoy it. But for now, they still had a lot of work to do. And Taylor got busy scraping up some of that paint that they had splattered. Working with the steel wool was a little bit exhausting. Taylor worked a little bit more on the floors and then decided it was time to go and bug Riri for a minute. So it was off to Riri's studio. When Taylor got to Riri's studio, she asked her, "What's up, girl? What you working on?" Riri shared with Taylor her latest art piece. Taylor told Riri she loved it, it just needed just a little bit more. Riri told Taylor, "Yeah, I know, I'm not finished with it quite yet. I still got some more work to do." She thanked Taylor for her honest opinion and asked her, "Is it time for you to go yet?" And Taylor said to Riri, "I know when I'm not wanted." After Taylor had gone, Riri gave it a lot of thought. Riri agreed that the piece did need a little bit more work, but she was going to do pen and ink overlay to finish it off. But for now, she was going to unmount it and start on a new piece. So she laid her piece of artwork gently under the table. And decided to work on a scroll. Riri chose the orange scroll to start her work on. Once the piece was assembled, she would then add her beads. She wet down the piece with the adhesive. Gotta get it nice and even. Don't want to tear the paper. And then she stood back and tried to imagine what the piece would look like finished. Finally, it came to her, the colors that she should use. She started gathering together some greens and yellows and baby yellows and, oh yeah, and then it was time to add the pieces to the scroll. She began to layer on other pieces. Piece by piece, each one just coming together. This purple one down here in the corner, yeah, that looks good. She stood back and admired her work. Yeah, I'm liking this, really liking this, she thought to herself. After that sudden burst of creativity, Riri was a little tired. She decided to tidy up a bit, and then it was time to go and find Taylor. She cleared up her desk and pushed in the chair. And took one last look to make sure that that piece was exactly what she wanted. Riri left the piece to dry and then went out to look for Taylor. She found Taylor in the backyard getting her tan on. Taylor yelled, "Surprise, Riri!" "Surprise, Taylor? What's this? What's all this stuff?" And Taylor said to Riri, "Make sure you look over there. Do you see that?" "Okay, Taylor, what's all this? What's with the suitcase and the car and..." Taylor said, "Riri, pack your clothes. We're going on a road trip." "Where, Taylor, where?" Taylor said, Riri, I'll tell you later. Come on, first, let me show you this car. Let me show you my car. And Riri asked Taylor, what do you mean, your car? Taylor, I got it to test drive it, but I think I'm gonna keep it. Do you like it? It's pretty cool, Taylor. Let me just see. How does it ride? How does it ride? Taylor rode Riri down the back streets just to see how the car drove. Pretty smooth ride, even though it's on gravel. Finally, Riri asked Taylor, road trip, where are we going? Next weekend, our cousin's graduation. That's where we're going, Riri. So be sure to tune in to next week's episode of part 2 of Road Trip.